So you guys got tube rivets figured out, regular rivets figured out, and then if you want a rivet to be invisible, we call that a flush rivet. So the steps that you follow are the same exact way as a regular rivet. So you figure out what size wire you want to use. This is a 14 gauge wire. So what size drill bit would I use?
13.
13 or
14.
14. So it's the same size or one step bigger. Okay, so I've drilled my hole. Everybody see my hole drilled? Okay, and I've also already cut my rivet, which is super tiny. We all know how much of a pain in the butt that is. And I have it fit in the right size to go in here. The only difference is a regular rivet, you slide it through and then you hammer it, right? And it flares over like a mushroom cap. This one, you actually remove a little bit of material, so I'll show you in a second. The regular rivet will look like this. The flush rivet, you actually drill a hole and then you remove some of the material on the top and the bottom. This is my drawing here. You actually remove some material here so that when you have a rivet and it's more like that, if I was to file it off, because I made a little bit bigger on each side, the rivet would be stuck in there. Okay. So now, I have my hole drilled, and how do I make a rivet, top of a rivet bigger? I have to get a bigger drill bit, which is, I have all these drill bits in my desk, you have to ask for them. And so I have a drill bit that's this size, which is way bigger than a 14 gauge, and I hand spin it to make the hole a little bit bigger at the top and a little bit at the bottom. It's not hard, unless you're... So I've just spun, you see that? Okay, I'm going to do the back side too. You have to make sure you take away enough material to make sure it will catch. Okay? All right. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. I'm going to open my hole a little bit more so it slides in a little bit easier. Just annoying. 100. Red. Red. Well, I got it on video. I'll just put it live and see how you guys behave in my class. All right, so I have it in there. So my rivet is a little bit above, a little bit below. For a flush rivet, I usually like to take a little bit more off, so then I have less to file off. So do you guys know the trick of having it in there and then using a file to just go across? Because it's holding it in place. Okay? All right, so now I have it a little bit above, a little bit below. That is how high your rivet should be. If they're higher than that, they're not going to look right and they're not going to be right for a rivet. Okay? Just comes up a little bit like a button. All right, I'm going to hammer this. I'm trying to make sure I flare it out, so I'm going to flip it on both sides. I want it to take up the area where I removed it. So this is not totally flush yet. It still has a little bit of a rise. So what I would do is I would take a file. Now you might have to fix your surface again after you do this. But I file and file and file. And then I will sand it until it becomes completely flush. Now it takes a couple minutes, so I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch. But in the end, you would have a rivet that's like this. You can't see it. when you file it. This is an invisible rivet here. This will look like that. And you can tell if you did it right, because if you try to pull it apart, it's riveted together. Okay? So there's a couple more steps in a flush rivet, but it will look like it's been soldered or something. Okay?
Looks nice.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.